That time, folks. It's almost that time. Good morning, folks. I think we're good to go here. All right. Good morning, good morning. Let's see. So, UGG, our first stock popping up here, AGH. Okay, been on a bit of an uptrend. All right. We go ahead and refresh everything. EONR, yeah, penny stock, QRE. Bit higher price, popped mostly on Friday and has been fading. TRA, similar story. So yeah, actually not as hot as I was expecting. Good morning, Soul. Good morning, Jules. Good morning, Gulp. Right. The game plan. Well, hold on. How many people are here? I should probably just wait a little longer. Yeah, we got 13 here already. So the game plan here is that we'll be sizing up 8x today. So we'll be doing 8, 16, 8 sizing. So up to 32 shares. So that is the plan. This will be weighted based off of things like the price, the volatility. I'll probably mess something up. So I'm being open-minded about that. Ugh, too, yes. Ugh, indeed. But yeah, we'll just play it by ear. We'll see how things go. Seems like it's a bit of a slower morning, honestly. So that's probably ideal for my situation. Yeah, UGG seems like the only thing really moving here. Does not qualify for my setup, though. Looking at it, it looks like there was news. All right, this popped up at 6:05, and it looks like there was news for it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything really. The gap scanner is the biggest scanner we have going here. I'm not seeing any momentum scanners firing. It says 3 day trades. It's actually 2 for this account. For some reason, it did the same thing on Friday. It updated like an hour. It was like 8 a.m. or something that it updated. Not sure why. But it's 2 day trades in this account, not 3. Good morning. Hoping for some defense headlines, as this is seemingly a new theme right now for obvious reasons. Yeah. So the oil energy theme was what kicked it off last Tuesday. But then we kind of started to shift. Like we kind of pivoted from oil energy to more of a defense sector play. So yeah, I'm curious which of them, if either, will prevail. Notably, oil is particularly high right now. It's gapped up significantly. So I wouldn't be surprised if the oil energy theme makes a new play today. Looking at things like BATL, this really hasn't moved significantly. Another one, I guess, would be Turb. And Turb honestly isn't moving that much either. So it seems like there's not really a strong connection there. My oil stocks are doing so good right now. So happy I went all in on the oil boom. There you go. But at least for small caps, it doesn't necessarily seem to be a 1-for-1. Man, I did not get much sleep last night, so my apologies if I seem a little quiet today. I am somewhat tired. Fingers crossed that I don't make some blunder because of it. I feel like the strategy's not super hard to execute, so I'm not too worried about that. Right? There's no huge time crunch either, so it's not like I'm having to rush to make a decision, really. But it'll be interesting to see if it actually becomes relevant. But yeah, just so we're on the same page here in terms of projections, if I do take a trade, ballpark, you should expect it's a $10 winner if it wins, just in that range. And a loser should be anywhere from $15 to $20 for a max loss. Right, there can be anywhere. So really, you're looking for any real range from like $20 loss to $15 gain. All right, it's a pretty big range, but that's kind of the spectrum that I'm expecting here. All right, significantly different than before. I should check here. So AGH, just checking to see how it reacts. Okay, so AGH is easy to borrow, it looks like. Checking it on Thinkorswim. It is shortable on Thinkorswim as well. So the stock is shortable on both. Did you see the SPY gap down? No, I did not. With oil and how bad is it? Okay, I mean, that's a gap. That's certainly a gap. That should be down. About a little over 1%. Nothing terrible. But a little bit surprising. I mean, we were down like 2% almost at one point. It makes sense that this one, I mean, this is essentially, what, a defense company? Just like reading some of these, there's apparently multiple headlines, but... Ukrainian drone companies. I mean, like, this is pure defense company, so this is pretty aligned with the theme. So realistically, I would say that this stock is played directly into the theme here. So whoever was saying it, yeah, Carl. I mean, I guess technically, Carl, this theme is played out in the leading gapper here. So it seems this theme is continuing, at least on the surface. Up to about here. Honestly, looking at the daily, like, stock doesn't really gap that much. It hasn't historically ever done this. Yeah, so this is kind of a first. Right, even on its bigger runs, just on the daily, it's usually been intraday moves, not a gap. Still has a strong daily chart pattern. The news is quite strong. It seems like it's the leading theme. Seems pretty risky to challenge it. Right, this could end up... it's up 50% right now. I mean, I could see a world where this goes up maybe to like 859. The only thing that's really making me think this might run out of steam, like, what is the biggest moving day this has had? We'll just say one of these two. So, like, I don't know, this one. From 6 up to about 810, right? So 6 to 8, that would be like, what, a 33% gain. So even on the daily intraday move, this has only gone up 33%. So this is historic for this company. So that'd be the one leading thing saying to me that maybe this doesn't go higher, just because historically it hasn't ever run this much in one period. RLMD seems to be popping up. Another very interesting, just kind of grinding higher stock. And then we've had a pop here up to 607 after so much consolidation. This doesn't really fit my criteria either. This thing could pop really hard. What do we got for shares outstanding? Really? 73 million? Really? It doesn't feel like it. It feels much thinner. I mean, I guess on the daily this looks thick. But right now it feels very thin. News. We do have news. Okay, so this is, I guess, a biotech, yeah, therapeutic company. Okay. Okay, so I guess the phase 2 data was just good on it. Also, they announced, yeah, okay, so oversubscribed, $160 million private placement financing. Okay, so yeah, there's that too. Purchase price of $475. It's tempting to want to get on this because of the higher shares outstanding. This one typically doesn't, again, this one doesn't really move this much normally. But yeah, this daily doesn't fit. It's only up 30% too. It's not even up that much. Yeah, surprisingly a slower day. I was really thinking we would have a hotter 7 a.m., but that doesn't seem to have been the case. So I guess we're just chilling. Okay, so AGH looks like it might have actually topped here. Let's see. Yeah, the start of this trend down has been higher volume. This could be the start of the top. Good morning, Duvin. RLMD continuing to grind higher here. Very nice. Pushing up to 50% move on this one. So that's about a 20% move right there. Seeing increasing volume inflow as well. Meanwhile, AGH continuing to lose traction. We could be even seeing rotation here. Rotation from AGH to RLMD. This was a pretty nasty initial rejection, but it's kind of based out significantly with high volume. Let's see if it turns into anything. But yeah, it really is looking like some kind of rotation could be occurring here. Very nice recapture. Beautiful. Volume wasn't super high on that pop. But it's resolving nicely. 70% move. Much more, okay, this is much more appealing than before, where it was only at 30%. Much more. Yeah, this thing's, I mean, we're approaching 100% move on it. HGH just completely falling off a cliff now. Continuing to see that building volume as well. Okay. This is okay. This is nice. This is nice. We're seeing an 80% move. Certainly a very impressive move. Okay, might be due for a pullback, honestly. The volume on this candle, though, is quite low. This could make another leg, honestly. Like, this pullback was on low volume. This may actually make another move up. Got 28-cent winner on that one. Awesome stuff, Lawson. Yeah, this is quite strong. I've got a 60 million float for it, so it's an impressive move with that in mind. Yeah, that's what's really surprising to me, right? I'm seeing 73 million outstanding. If you're saying 60 million float, that tracks. Yeah, I mean it's just getting great resolution. The daily's too stable, has too much upside potential, which is why I didn't want to short into it. This, even though the shares outstanding looks very appealing, right? This feels like a discrepancy from shares outstanding, but it does have news, has a good daily chart. That's typically what I try to avoid for my setup, and it looks like it may have benefited me to do so. We could just check, out of curiosity, where would I have shorted this? So I would have shorted all the way from 663 to 765, and my stop was at 816. So this would have been a losing trade if I would have decided to go for it. Yeah, too strong. Yeah, so kind of what looks like a rug here. Volume is so-so. It's definitely recoverable. It might just be due for a pullback, though, because this has gone kind of straight up. Right? 6 straight up to 850 almost. Honestly, 5-minute could turn nasty. We look at 5-minute here. You got a pretty nasty looking potential topping tail in the 5-minute. Worth keeping that in mind. But that's only if it ends up closing lower. We will see. We're getting significantly reduced volume on what appears to be this pullback. This could actually just end up turning into a curl. Volume would support that theory. So this could be a bounce opportunity. Looking at the level 2, doesn't seem like there's any huge, like, iceberg orders, per se. Good morning, Tristan. Yeah, critical area here. If this ends up going red, right, we're already starting a potential new lower candle. 5 minute looks horrid. So if this doesn't reverse soon, this could just turn into a pump and dump, essentially. I do like the lowered volume on this pullback, though. Volume profile looks great. 5 minute doesn't look good, but mainly just because we moved up so quickly and now we've pulled back sharply. Missed 5 fails on AGH. I feel that. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have shorted AGH though. It's just this daily's too stable. The headline seemed relevant to the current hot market theme. I couldn't really risk that. RLMD, 100 million at the money. At the moment? What? I see a $160 million private placement. I don't know where you're seeing 100 million. Yeah, this looked promising given the volume profile up to about here. So on this, up to this pullback, it looked promising. Seeing the volume start to increase as we went lower, and this volume has been staying... I don't know, like it still feels like it could curl. This volume in general here is still lower than the move up. This could just be a very big pullback too, because this was such a big move. If this does end up being a round trip though, Took a loser on RLMD for the breakthrough 850. Bounce took a small loser. Oh, you're saying like from here? They're dumping into the push? They could be. This feels, I mean, to me this reads as quite a significant pullback for this volume relative to the move up. A little bit surprising. Thought it would have held up better. Now, I mean, looking at the 5 minute, it just looks horrid now. All right, 5 minute, this chart looks totally destroyed. I'm seeing the volume tick up as well. This does start to look like it's just a distribution potential. No, $100 million at the money offering filed in January. That's, oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the one this morning. Yeah. Christmas tree on Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. Yeah, it's we could be seeing a Christmas tree forming. Christmas tree on the 5 minute. I mean, we'll see, but like just Seeing the volume start to tick up whenever it's coming down, it just doesn't look pretty. $100 million at the money offering filed in January isn't great either. January, that's 2 months ago. Was that a prospectus or was that just a shelf registration? Let me look. Okay, it was just prospectus. Okay, so they are live. There are supplements. Yeah, up to 100 million. Oof. Nasty. AGH, this one's starting to get some traction back. Perhaps some potential flipping back to this stock. I'm not so sure I trust either one of them, though. I'll go grab the lights. Yeah. Glad I saw that earlier. Yeah. Yeah, that certainly could be relevant. Well, it's certainly a signal. It doesn't make it super obvious, but it's certainly relevant. This thing popped up. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky to manage both the Weeble and the Thinkorswim tabs without like accidentally overlapping the windows on them. I might need to find a way to restructure it just so I don't have that. Yeah, so the 2-day trade's updated. Okay, I'll need to go back through the VOD and see exactly when it's updating this, because it's not at 8 a.m. and it's not at 7 either. It's somewhere between. What is your strategy to short? Market cap or just stocks that have huge push? So I backtested for several different strategies. I was looking for percentage moves. I was looking for why they moved. I was looking for market sentiment, like is it a hot or cold market? And I just did testing to see what general ranges performed well. So I created a bit of a bell distribution curve. So I have a projection for where, depending on the market sentiment, like I said, how hot the market is, what the stock is, what the trend is in the market, like what stocks are working well. And then I have a bell curve of where I think price statistically should go. And I'm scaling into that. So I'm using a 1-to-1 structure, with 2 being at where I believe price should hit. This lets me get in and still be able to win if I'm slightly above or below. That's the premise anyway. We're 5 for 5 with the strategy so far. That's why we're scaling up today. But the particular issue with this strategy is it's very selective. The 2 stocks we had moved so far that were relevant, my signal did not give green light for either of these stocks. Noteworthy, this one would have been a losing trade if I would have tried to trade it. I would have just barely been stopped out. My stop was at 816 for this stock, so I would have just been barely stopped out. But yeah, this one moved quite a lot more than normal. But yeah, it didn't fit my criteria for it, so I was able to avoid that hit. The interesting thing too is you can always look at things in hindsight and say, man, this would have been a great long here, or just it would have been a great short here. It was so overextended. Like, in hindsight, you can really just let it get to you. But yeah, you gotta remember that strategy was built to protect you as well. Right? The reason I'm not in every trade is because these bigger moves can happen. And this would have been a losing trade. So just the idea of just short anything that pops inherently is risky. Like, you could have argued that this would be the first leg, this would be the second leg, and you would start to short here. But then this suddenly exploded to the upside, and you could find yourself... Like, this would have worked, but like, if you were stopping out at any point in this flush, and then you could just say, well, just hold longer, because it obviously reversed. But then you get the ones that don't reverse, right? Because this looked quite strong initially, right? This popped up. We didn't really pull back hard, and we just grinded higher. Then we had a sudden breakout, and it just went parabolic. So, like, at what point do you cut the trade if it's a losing trade? And with short selling in particular, that question has a lot more weight, because you can't just keep holding and hoping. At least with long bias trading, the downside isn't as devastating. But yeah, like, what would happen if you shorted here? You were full size by, well, I would have been full size at 765. So I would have been full size at 765. What would happen if this would have went to like 12? I mean, I'd be down like 80%. You know, like that's, you can't live with that. I am trying to test stocks with 350 millions, which are sensitive, which are more sensitive and volatile. Oh, less than 350 million market cap. This one was an interesting one because the market cap for this one is huge, right? I mean, we'll just say $5 a share, 73 million shares outstanding. I mean, I can just pull up a calculator. That's right around your ballpark area. 73 million. Yes, this is a little over your 350 million market cap. And honestly, the market cap on this stock is particularly high. You say less than 350 million. I don't know if you're like talking about small cap sector specifically, because there's a lot of stocks that are much, much lower market cap than that. Like there's some market caps that are under 10 million. And this one honestly has moved significantly more than I would have expected for its market cap. And that's the problem, is that you get these very big variations sometimes where this one, for all intents, really probably shouldn't have moved this much for the catalyst it had, but it did. Right? And I don't really have a good reason. And the fact that I can't formulate a good reason is part of variance sometimes. And stocks less than 14. $1. What do you mean with the $1? Guys, if all of us bought a bajillion shares of RLMD, it could go to the moon. I mean, I feel like this would be the worst possible stock to pump and dump, though, because it's just such a high float. Oh, above $1. Okay, so you're looking for testing stocks between $1 and $14. You're thinking about shorting stocks that are under 350 million market cap. I mean, those are criteria, but how are you testing it, right? Because I did simulations. Like I built a Python program And I was running simulations. Like I can pull up the data just to show it. I've showed this file a couple times. I think it's this one. Do I not have it on this? Okay. Yeah, so I'll just share this real briefly because I've already shown it to other people, but I went ahead and built this, and I was just tracking a whole bunch of different stocks and using this as criteria to plug in. But yeah, that's how I went about it to backtest. But yeah, you definitely want to find some way to backtest your strategy, because my experience has shown that just shorting into anything that pops is, I couldn't find statistical edge doing that. Right, I'm 5 for 5 with my strategy, but unfortunately it's been like 2.5 weeks just to take 5 trades. So it's not super frequent with how often I'm taking these trades. Which is unfortunate, but that's just the reality. If that's the cost for having a high win rate and a high return, then we can scale in proportionally. You got the biggest head and shoulders of your life here. And a little Christmas tree in the middle. I mean, even on the 5-minute, it still just looks horrid. like this genuinely just looks like a pump and dump on the 5-minute. Some strategies you just need to trade at scale to really make good money, because they just don't happen often enough to scale a tiny account decently fast. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, because the win rate on this should be around 85%. And I mean, I'm 5 for 5, so 100%, but like it's a small variance. So, but yeah, like for a win rate to be that high and not just be a clickbait, I win 85% of the times, and just show like $100 a day or something. Yeah, I've had to have super strict criteria, and you're right. When you have a low trade frequency, you really need high share size to actually capitalize on a strategy like this, assuming it works, right? But the flip side is that, and this is the unfortunate thing, is that it's harder to find valid trades to test the theory on whenever it's so strict. Like whenever I was doing a lot of back testing, I was finding that my sample trade size over the span of several months was only around 10, 15, 20 trades, right? Because if I'm only taking a trade every other day or so on average, then it's hard to get a high sample of executed trades with the edge. Even though the system is saying you have edge, the sample size of actual trades taken is like less than 20. So while there's signal there, it's difficult for me to put significant weight on it. And that's one of the main reasons I'm not aggroed harder than I am. Right, I don't really mind 8xing my size because I was trading one share. So like it doesn't really matter that much if I 8x size. But the jump from here, I will probably not go another 8x. Probably. I'll probably do like 4x size or something like that, or 2x or something. I mean, I haven't really thought about it much beyond this. I'm mostly just trying to increase exposure, but yeah. Okay, so we had a good runner today, at least, right? We had a what did it peak at? Like 80%. So pretty good runner, certainly. Oh no, I mean it looks like a peak. This is just 100%, right? Nearly 100%. 870 would have been 100. Yes, this is like a 90% move at peak. Certainly respectable. Market has been extremely difficult, very cold, not many opportunities to test the new strategy. Yes, last week we had more opportunity. I mean, I took 2 trades last week, so it did give me some opportunity. We're seeing a lot of inconsistency, though. It's like we're not seeing everything run, only some things run, which is very dangerous because it means that I cannot just short something if it meets some of the criteria. Because if I get, if I put too much pressure and then it ends up actually working, because like with this one, for example, the shares outstanding was a big signal to me that this thing would reverse. But this one also was moving on lighter volume, much heavier, and the daily chart is quite strong. So like, those are concerning. So you got to weigh that. And those were both negative signals, and particularly the second one was a big red flag for me. I feel similar about that. If I trade 50 or 100 instead of 200 shares, makes a difference of making or losing 10 or 20 bucks per trade, which is really not a lot. Yeah. Right, and I'm essentially risking $20 a trade with 8x. Like, worst case. I mean, I guess technically if it like blows past my stop, which it could do, then the loss could be higher. But realistically, we should expect a ceiling of 20. And it is worth saying, too, that since I am only up $6 with the 1 share size, 1 max loss would completely eliminate the gains I've made. But that's the cost of scaling up, especially if you're going to 8x, right? If you're increasing size by 800%, you go in, you accept the risk that 1 loss could blow out the wins, right? That's the risk of sizing up so aggressive. But I'm not super concerned about making money. I'm more concerned about proving the edge right now. But I'm trying to do so in a way that is also more interesting to watch, and also scaling with my confidence. Like, my confidence is high enough to where I don't think I need to be trading 1 share. Okay, NVVE popping. This one popped on Friday, I think. Yeah, this one popped on Friday, but that just died. Let me check the registration, because this looks like just a pump and dump. Like someone just diluted into this or something. Yeah, prospectus January 21st, so a month and a half ago. There was news. Pushes into Japan energy storage. So we're hitting a buzzword. With 3.35 million battery storage deal. I mean, that sounds like a good catalyst. This is a stock historically that's been beaten down. It's kind of flatlined recently. Should be careful, though, because this is a super low float. Seeing that this was pushed down, that does suggest that there's someone willing to push it down. Dude, this thing actually just wants to expand to the right. That's crazy. Even if I'm moving it to the left. Let me check shorts. Okay, only liquidatable on Weeble. What about Thinkorswim? I think it's even hard to short because when a stock is under $1, yeah. I think I'm just going to watch this one. The fact that this has the energy headline feels too significant. Right, energy headline, low float. The catalyst sounds like it's pattern matching. 140 last week highs. Am I 40s last week high? You are in short or long? I am a short trader. Sorry, Duvin. I am the thing you hate most in this world. Yeah, huge volume coming in on this too. Looks like 152 was she, what? Was all she got. I'm just like, what on earth was she? Okay. A dumpy and rejecty boy, it looks like. Could be. This one was a mixed one. It had history of resistance here. And it sold off. But this one pattern matched to the news, and it was looking like it was starting to move quickly. And I mean, it's very high volume considering the shares outstanding too. All right, we've had float rotation in just a matter of 3 minutes. Yeah, volume pretty decent. Yeah, the volume is surprisingly high. I'm curious if this will just roll over or not. Right, we've got the buzzword signal, low float, high volume. So we've got 3 signals, but this is a downtrending stock, has a prospectus. Low floats are my favorite, massive movers. Yes, certainly. This one had potential to move much quicker, and it did move quicker. It just did not really hold up super well, it looks like. Needs above 150 again for me to even be remotely interested. Yeah. Man. It's crazy how quickly it can just pop and then give the whole thing back. I'd be curious to see if Ross traded this. Christmas tree. Oh, all the Christmas trees. They're everywhere, it feels like. Yeah, so we've had 2 Christmas trees. This one's like a very fat Christmas tree. Good day to practice stock selection and patience, certainly. This one was close. I was genuinely on the fence about getting in this one. Yeah, my entry would have been about 140. So I would have had a 8 share short position here about 140. I would be still currently holding. I wouldn't have sold yet or covered yet. So yeah, I'd be up like 15 cents a share unrealized right now. But yeah, this went up so quickly. I would feel uncomfortable even now holding. It's like we're driving through a Christmas tree farm. Yeah. We're coming up on the top of the hour. I'm actually a little bit optimistic. So we've seen two big pops, really, right? RLMD and VVE. We've seen two very fast pops. And this one was a pretty surprising move. So we'll have to stay tuned. I mean, I'm certainly anticipating that if something does come up, we could see it move initially. I made 18 cents on NVVE. Happened to get out into strength after seeing this dump. Yeah, no, it's genuinely surprised that it failed this hard. Yeah, a little sad that I didn't actually get in because I'd be up about 25 cents a share right now on 8 shares. So I'd be up like about $1.80 right now with the first size fill. So nothing too crazy. I would have only gotten the first hit. Bunch of longs just get run over on everything because they just jump on every mover, which rarely pays off, especially lately. Yeah, this definitely feels like people read the headline, saw energy, everybody just jumped in because it was an energy headline on a low float stock. And in their defense, it did pop, but it just didn't hold. And the way this is going down, you've had no 1 minute highs this entire time. So it certainly feels like someone is pushing it back down. And that could go into what you were saying about the prospectus. RLMD, nice little recovery pop though. Notably, this actually ended up holding. We didn't make a, I say, sounds crazy, but we didn't really make a lower low from the first main move. Right, this ended up holding. Now this still looks absolutely horrendous, but I'd be curious to see if we actually get a full cup on this. Today's theme is get in and get out super fast. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's like anti my strategy, which is there's going to be tension because of that. Because I'm intentionally trying to wait for the stock to overextend on a longer time frame. And these are just kind of running immediately, which is very dangerous because if I get in one of these and it doesn't stop running aggressively, that's where it gets dangerous. Right, that's when you get the parabolic moves where it blows past your stop. Nice higher low. Yeah. Well, yeah, it looks ridiculous, right, for me to say that. But it is a higher low setup. Right? You had a low here. You basically had maybe like I think it'd be more accurate to call it a double bottom. But it's a double bottom that appears to have held. You're saying volume return too, similar to this. This could genuinely curl. I'm watching Bureau and EONR today. Yeah, this one higher on the gap scanner for me, but it's a penny stock. I don't even see that other one on mine. Okay, that's because it's a super, super cheap penny. Yeah, I do have a filter if it's like super cheap. Man, full on rotation, just pump and dump. I would be out here, so this would have been a locked in. I would have had 8 shares short here at 140s, maybe like 141, and yeah, I would have covered around 110. So that would have been 30 cents a share, roughly. 8 shares. So that'd be about a 240 winner if I would have taken this trade. So this one would have been a 240 winner. This one would have been a max loss. I don't do well under 80-cent stocks. My style isn't favored at all. Yeah, same. I've said it many times. I statistically have not done well with sub $1 stocks. And that wasn't even the range I tested. I tested for stocks between $1.50 and $10. So realistically, this is like, whenever it's popping up, and this is like the difficult thing, it's like, would this one count? Because technically it went over $1.50. Right? But it started way down here at 92. So that's where it's kind of like a judgment call. Like, it's not super clear. This thing just straight down. No 1 minute high either. Every single candle has been a new lower low. Or a lower high. Yeah, some sort of manipulation went on here, per se. I mean, so like, maybe not even manipulation. Here's what I genuinely think happened. I think it's a mix of two things. First of all, you had the prospectus. So it seems like whoever is, whenever this gets any kind of momentum, it's just getting sold into. The fact that this sold off more than it popped from the news tells me someone was dumping here. That combined with the fact that today you had energy on it. Everybody saw the headline. They saw how RLMD moved. So they're like, I want to get on this immediately. And that's why you saw the pop. But there was no real substance behind it, so it just rolled over. That's my genuine read on it. The difficulty for me with wanting to get short this is I could see this was moving quickly. And if I misread it, we're talking about the type of stock catalyst that is moving things is popping up here. We're talking about a low float. We're talking about high volume. That looks incredibly dangerous to short into. Like, at least from my perspective. It's the time dilution through the eternal downtick. I mean, I see it, certainly. Right, this kind of pressure where it's just relentless, there's never a new high, certainly feels like distribution. Margin call is a myth. You shouldn't just short into everything. Or you should just short into everything. Oh, okay. You're right. Just short and hold. What the heck? This is a Chinese stock, isn't it? No, hims and hers. Okay. I can see stuff like on the level 2. Or I can see stuff like that on the level 2. The way it's acting, been long a few times into moves like that. Usually 3-4 are losers for me if I don't spot it. I got better at it though. Well, glad you got better. I mean, yeah, this pattern of just like this sell-off combined with the fact that this sold off, I could have maybe attempted to make a judgment call that this would reverse. But we're really entering speculative territory at that point, at least given the time constraints and what I was looking for. When it just stays heavy for minutes on end, yeah. Well, the thing is like, it wasn't... Like, this one's difficult because the volume was super high on the front. Well, no, that's not actually true. So for this initial pop-up, the volume was much lighter. So that's actually another red flag. The volume here was lighter. And even on this pop-up, this candle was high, but actually the pullback was on the higher volume, the highest volume. Yeah. This actually does look more like a pump and dump when I look at it through that lens. Yeah, this popped up with very low volume. Even this final pop was lower volume than this pullback. Yeah, this looks like just distribution to me. Also, CIT just exploded. Wow. No news either. What on earth? What is this stock? I want to look into it. Just a random 30-cent stock just explodes. Foreign company. Penny stock. Yeah, crazy. Good morning, Skivon. What on earth? No news, by the way. Just a million volume randomly comes into this thing. Yeah, I gotta like zoom in like this because I can't look at the regular candle. Yeah, so this thing just... You just started getting hundreds of thousands of volume. And then a random 1 million volume surge here. Yeah, I bet you this is a strict momentum play and people are just going to pump it now. Yeah, it's... I could see it. There's definitely people going to FOMO chase into this. I would test to see if I can short it by just putting a ridiculous short entry, but even a ridiculous short entry might actually get triggered here. Insanity. Ludicrous. The range is honestly huge, right? 82 cents all the way to $1.50. And that's like after this move. $6,880%. This isn't even a bad stock too, just lower-ish float and good volume. No, it's definitely a bad stock. You look at the yearly. This is downtrending. You go to 3-year. It's not a good stock. I would probably call it a bad stock. The fact that it's been at 30 cents, under $1, like this is probably delisted in some level. Strange. I keep having to zoom in like this because that huge wick just distorts the chart like crazy. Someone must have placed an order on the wrong ticker. Dr. Happy Joints, it's been a hot minute, man. Welcome back. But yeah, it's very surprising. It's going to slow down in volatility per minute? Yeah, probably. Yeah, the range on this, 150 down to 80. Yeah, it's ranging quite a lot. Like you said, it's purely just momentum now. People saw it move like crazy and they want a piece. In hindsight, maybe you could have tried to buy this dip, but like, I mean, you're even after this dip, it's still up over 100%, right? RLMD still doing pretty well. Same algo doing the same thing every other week to foreign stock. Same playbook. Yeah, you're just getting these random stocks. Like, what is the daily volume for this stock, out of curiosity? Oh, I mean, you're getting like 100,000. Okay, so you're getting like a couple 100,000 on some of these days. Right, then this one's like 4.6 million. So it's not necessarily a totally dead stock. You do range here, 55, 60. So like this has range to it. A bit more range than actually I would have expected. This stock actually seems kind of suspicious from a volume perspective. Like, the fact that it's ranging this much. For a stock this cheap, it really shouldn't be ranging like this. Kind of strange. It is foreign, so that opens the floodgates to more dubious behaviors, I suppose. I can guarantee you there was a bunch of people short this before it even made that move, now crying on Twitter. Well, like, the move happened. Like, how long did the move last? The move only lasted, like, 20 seconds. Like, this didn't even last a full minute. Bibi was probably just trying to pay for more rockets. Yeah, maybe. I guess this is a good reason not to short penny stocks. Yeah, because realistically, the only time these kind of moves happen is on foreign stocks where the ask basically just gets pulled for whatever reason. Right? Because both of these candles had the same volume, like near identical volume. Yet their price movement was completely different. Enough to wipe some short accounts, certainly. It's Jen moving up here. RLMB is resolving pretty decent, not gonna lie. Yeah, no, yeah, it's curled a little bit. Yeah, I was anticipating the potential for a cup and handle. It's kind of stalled out a bit, but yeah, it's recovering. Yeah, AGH just looks like it's fully given the move back. Yeah, full retracement. Yeah, NVV was also a full retracement. I don't think I will get a trade today. Sag, AZI. AZI, isn't that the Chinese stock that pump and dumped? Yeah. It went all the way down. My God, what on earth happened to this thing? Look at this. It just got diluted into the ground. I remember when I saw this rugging over here, I'm like, guys, this thing could legitimately go under $1. And then it does this. Man. What a fall from grace. I had a big loser last time I traded AZI. I mean, those Chinese stocks will get you. It is a nice move. I will give it credit. This has moved quite a lot. But yeah, it's way too cheap for me. AZI again? No thanks. Yeah, no, it's... I mean, it's too cheap anyway, but this stock just probably just ruins so many people. I treat AZI and JZXN as like the same thing. Oh, I did call up JZXN, or not, I called up my broker to talk about JZXN. Because JZXN is in liquidation only for Thinkorswim and Webull and Interactive Broker, which is very interesting. So I called them up, and they said that they had this stock on a list because it was flagged for suspicious activity. So I don't know if JZXN did something, but apparently it was flagged by Thinkorswim, and I assume it was flagged by the other brokers too. So brokers might be starting to flag some of these stocks that are acting especially erratic. Interesting to see that AGH retraced so much. It's dropping drone news. Yeah, I mean, it gave the buzzword headline, right? Right? Defense kind of talk. It had, I think Trump Jr. or something endorsed it or something like that. I might be thinking of a different headline. But, yeah, no, I mean, it worked initially, right? At 7 o'clock, you had one final leg before it rolled over. So you could, even if you bought at 7, you could have gotten this little final stretch, I guess. But yeah, it gave the whole thing back. We're seeing a lot of full rotations, right? This one was a full rotation. This one, basically a full rotation. RLMD looked like one, but it's actually surprisingly curled. I don't know how for a hotel company, right? I kind of want to keep an eye on CIIT just because of the move it's made. I mean, it's still up over 100%. I keep it on the watch list just to see how it plays out. CI next Christmas tree? I mean, maybe. Like, it was very oversold. It was basically just beaten straight down. Very interesting to see how much it's up. It's up a good bit, isn't it? It keeps doing this. It's up 75%, which is really good, honestly. Not sure. I'm not really sure it has anywhere to Christmas tree too. Maybe into the ground. I mean, you would basically have to. You're getting good volume on it. I know it's a cheaper stock, so this volume isn't, the weight isn't as high, but it's still good volume. Think you're gonna start? You're hopping on RLMB for a starter? Good luck, sir. I mean, it's showing promise. It's kind of just grinding, though. But yeah, good luck if you're gonna go for it. Oil could be in for a blow off top today, temporarily. Maybe that's why some of the small caps are so... Well, but like, they should have moved at least a little. Or more than they did. Was it BALT or... No, BATL. Honestly, like... I don't know, I feel like this should have moved more. Like, this is barely even a move relative to its normal price action. Given how much we gapped up like 15 or 20% on oil or something crazy. And then it just does this. Like, that's doesn't seem accurate. Turb was the other one, and Turb is just basically kind of flat. Like, it had a little pop here, but it gave it back. I feel like they should have held up better. My oil stock was up 5% today, so I agree. Breather day, and then maybe rest of the week has more action. I think today was just kind of unlucky, honestly. Like, we did have some... We genuinely had movement. It's just... This one didn't meet my criteria. And it did move too much, right? There was significant momentum here. Like, realistically, this had opportunity. Right, even then, like, it was easy to borrow stocks. Like, you could have shorted it or went long on it, and you could have made money. But it just seemed very... even now, it seems very unstable. It's very wavy. I know these are very scientific terms I'm using. NVVE. Hindsight, this one would have worked, but it's just... low flow, hitting the core headline. Like, I couldn't have risked it. I think the risk was too high. Yeah. Just not really seeing anything align for what I'm looking for, at least so far here. Yeah, we got 5 minutes till the half hour here. Good morning, Captain. No trades again. No trades today. Sorry, I didn't see your comment. It's probably already gone, right? I can't see him. How did I miss Evan's comment? He's like the only person with like a purple profile. I missed it somehow. And I don't want to touch these penny stocks. We've been seeing a lot of penny stocks moving, and I just don't want to touch them. Like, if this stock was $3 higher, I'd be more interested. Right? Horrible downtrend pattern. Really suspicious and, like, scammy company. Like, this would have been a good one if it was a higher price. OPTX popping up here. Again, a very uptrendy stock, though. Let's see. Defense purchase, 4 million in defense purchase orders. Okay, so we're hitting the core theme. Yeah, we're seeing the volume come in here. Defense news, yeah. This one feels like it has potential to just run immediately. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an immediate pop back up. Maybe a safer one would be buying here, but you could maybe just buy it immediately. I bet this thing goes up. At some point it pops up. That's my take. Kind of hitting a wall, though, honestly. Like, I feel like this should have popped by now. Kind of wondering why it didn't. Is there maybe a seller here? Because this news should have honestly popped this immediately. Feels like there might be a seller. This feels really weird. This should have popped immediately. This kind of news should have popped it immediately. But it's not. Okay. Again to 8, an immediate rejection. There's got to be a seller here. There's got to be. Yeah. I think there was a seller at 8. Right? It was struggling for 3 minutes here. It kept popping to 8 and rejecting. And then the moment it finally touches it, it immediately flushed. AZI, the hardest to trust, is the only runner. Yeah. I think there's a hidden seller at 8 on this one. Hmm. Weekly chart shows resistance at 873. Yeah, that's rough. So there's probably a lot of people that were banking on that defense contract theme to pan out. So I bet there's a lot of day traders that attempted to buy here. FGL popping up meets the criteria. All right, let's see. Solar contract under Malaysia's CGPP program. All right. FGL. Let's see. No shares available to short. So this was one I tried to place an order for. Just curious, is this shortable on Webull? This was shortable on Webull. So this would be an instance here where if I had day trades in both accounts, I could actually pivot now to Webull to short it. But I wasn't able to short it here. I would be in. 1134 was my entry. I was placing for half size because this is a more expensive stock. So I would have shorted 4 shares at about 1110 here as a first entry. Yeah. So looks like this would have been one that panned out, but, or at least initially here, but yeah, I wasn't able to short it because of Thinkorswim. I get a day trade back tomorrow, so, and I get the other 2 back by Wednesday. So yeah, starting tomorrow, I'll have access to both at the same time. So maybe what I could try doing going forward is I could try to initially trade in the one that has more day trades. And I can just alternate between them if need be. That might be more effective, because like this is one where I was able to short in the one and not the other. And I did try to place the order. So I was intending to short it, and I would have been filled at 1110. Yeah, it would have been immediately in profit too. I could still curl. Okay, showing strength. All right, all right. Maybe getting bailed out by Thinkorswim. what is the shares outstanding at? 400,000. So this one's a super low float. This one could actually pan into something. So missed out on one trade today that, I mean, I'll have to see how this one plays out, because this one hasn't actually locked in profit. Like, this would still be unrealized. But I dodged a max loss. I chose not to take what would have been maybe like a $2 or $3 winner. And I attempted to trade this one at 11.10. Curious, after like, what is this? After 8 minutes, does Weeble still have locates? They still do. Hmm. The still kind of just churning at this point. ACI is doing surprisingly well, right? It's made a second leg. And it might even make a third. Yeah, this would have been full profit. So I would have had 4 shares times about, we'll say I covered around 860. This would have been about a $10 winner. But I couldn't take it because of Thinkorswim. HIMZ. Is this like a reverse? What the heck? Stock that's clearly just been downtrending into the depths of the bottom. Suddenly gapping up huge here. Why? I mean, I guess this would be just because of hymns, right? They're spelled super similar. Yeah. I mean, it's still going into the dips, but notable pop-up here. Guess I'm just sitting tight here. Hey, it's frustrating. I guess that's just the limitation, though, of using some of these brokers. This thing just gave the entire thing back. We've seen so many of these just full rotations. Hmm. Go ahead and put up a poll just out of curiosity. See how people are doing. Yeah, it can be difficult to stay patient in this kind of environment. It's very frustrating. The one trade I tried to take would have worked and been a full-size winner. Just the broker was what prevented it. That's just how it goes. Scrolling Instagram has never been so boring. Yeah. Yeah, so a surprising amount of no traders. I was thinking maybe people would have jumped on more given some of the stocks that moved. But 50% no trade is actually quite high. I mean, we only have a 14 sample size here. But yeah. Also, notable amount of people lost today. A notable amount. FGL float tiny, high risk, even though it worked. The float goes in both directions. With this one, I was intending to hold longer because the float was lower. So it was, okay, yeah, you could argue high risk, but it was also high reward because I would have held. The plan was for me to hold for roughly 2/3 to full retracement. I assumed the more conservative cover, but that was the general area I was looking to cover. So it's a double-edged sword, certainly. Most of the losses, I assume, were on RLMD. NVVE could have also been it. Right, I mean, this one just kind of went straight up and then back. And then there was that one defense stock that popped up that looked promising, but just had a hidden seller. I don't remember the ticker. Was it this? Yeah, it was. I think it was this one. People might have been jumping on this one, anticipating this. Like, I bet you, I'm gonna go to Candyman. I bet you Candyman tried to trade this one. Because this was a very thematic one to trade. I bet you he tried to trade it. You lost on NVVE? Yeah. Oh no, he only traded one stock. Okay, fair enough. I guess he's maybe in a trader rehab right now, considering what happened last week. See how DJ's doing. If he's still streaming live. Okay, he is. Okay, small green for him. Well, let me try something different. I'm curious about this. This is kind of... I'm curious with this one, if this gives anything. If you lost on more than one, then just, I guess, pick the one you lost the most on. I should have put... No, actually, I shouldn't have said something else didn't lose. That's too big of a bucket. I should have... maybe categorize that differently, because we're going to get too much of a sample split. AGH curling, no volume though. That one, AGH pulled back super hard, right? Yes, this gave the entire move back. I mean, it's curled, and you got some volume coming in here now. Way lower than the move up though. You and Relentless Trader should do a collab. I mean, I do respect Relentless. He's one of the... I mean, I haven't done a thorough, like, audit of him, so, like... I can't say for sure, but, like, he seems like one of the few good ones out there that I've seen. Like, a real one. Like, that's my, at least, surface level, perspective. Yeah, okay, so apparently my poll kind of was just, like, horrible. We got basically two... We found out what two of the losers were. But we're really missing out. Like, I clearly didn't capture what people lost on. Okay, bad poll by me, but it was a learning experience. LRHC. That was one that worked for me in the past. Yeah, this one meets my criteria too. Okay, it's set up. All right, news. Okay. All right, we are short. Okay, let's see how it does. Good volume coming in here. Almost 1 million shares on this first pump up. We'll see. Or I'm at least in it here. Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it. Now we got actual dollars on the line, it appears. Okay, good inflow. The shares available for you for LRHC. What happened with Vadim? Your question is as good as mine, man. I am in 24 short right now, by the way. I don't know if you can... Yeah, you can't see the quantity. Yeah, I'm in 24 right now. I have the third order out. It has not filled, though. They just stopped posting after January. Yeah. Uh, 42,000 share seller at 157, but 42 is not really significant given this volume. It's not going to be a real wall. Okay, so this volume candle is critical. It's high, but it's not as high as the general move up. So we might get another leg. Yeah, I don't know if he's had the pressure get to him or what happened with him. It's unfortunate. But that's just how it goes. MTech PR. Check. Yeah, MTech had a pop too. Okay, let's see if we get the final pop here or not. Try and get me in. Interesting. So I tried to get the final fill there, and I adjusted it up, expecting a bigger pop, and I actually lost my place because of it. So yeah, alright, well that's the first instance where I've tried to adjust in an order, anticipating a little bit of a higher pop. So I'm basically locked in if I ever do that going forward. Small winner on LRHC, bought on the pullback to VWAP and sold on the way up. Very nice. Curious if what the inventory looks like on Webull. Webull is shortable, but it's super high borrow rate. Well, that's frustrating though, because me not getting that final fill, if this does reverse, then my average is going to be lower. What would my average have been? Because now my average is a bit distorted. Okay, so my average would have been about 151 if I got that final fill. I'm at around 147. Your short 167 finally got some locates. Oh, welcome to the party, sir. You got a much better fill than me, though. This half of the pullback is higher volume. This could indicate it's the top. Super frustrating I didn't get that final fill at 177. Dude, 177 literally would have been... I'm like barely in profit right now. I should have been like an extra like $3 in profit. I mean, that's on me though. I tried to adjust the order after I placed it. I know going forward, I can't do that. That's against the rules. Not my rules, the rules of the broker, because when I move my order, I lose my place in line. And between the time I placed the order and when I tried to adjust it, they ran out of locates, so I lost my queue. And I mean, I'm not even in... I haven't locked in the profit yet either, so I shouldn't get too full of myself here. This could curl all the way back out, and if it would stop me out, then it would have protected me, I guess, but... Let me put the cover order. Should be about... I should have 8 more shares right now, and I should be having a better average. Man, that's a small float. I mean, it looks like a small float, but I assure you it is not a small float. What is it? What is the reported? Yeah, it's reporting 500,000, but one look at the level 2 and you know it's not 500,000. No, this has been diluted. All right, let's see if we get the 1 minute high and get a resolution off of it. If we get a 1 minute high. This is quite bearish looking, just the volume. It looks sort of backside heavy on volume. Okay, getting bought up a little bit there. Okay, breakdown, but the volume wasn't super high on it. Still, you're getting more volume on the pushes down than the pulls up. Alright, guess we're just holding steady for now. I do like the volume profile. It seems to favor me slightly. But it's not quite as good as I would have liked it to have been. I mean, I'm in the trade, so I'm going to hold it, at least until my time frame comes. LRHC loss, 1R. I feel you, man. Kept it super tight on 20% more size. I mean, this stock historically doesn't hold up well. So keeping it tight's probably smart. 4 trades, only 1 worked. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like I had 2 setups today. Like I punched it on another trade, and if I would have just taken it in Weeble, I would have gotten it. And on this trade, and sorry I'm complaining so much. On this trade, I had an order. My final position was at 177, and then I tried to adjust the order up to like 180, and the order got canceled because I was out of shares and there were no more shares. So today, honestly, has just been a very, very poor execution by me. Like, I should not be making these kind of mistakes, but to be fair, the shifting an order thing, I've never had it happen yet where I placed the order, then shifted the order, and then the order, there were no longer shares, so the order rejected. So just going forward, I gotta know I can't do that anymore. You're very happy with how you did execution-wise? I mean, hey, that's half the battle, right? Like, first half of this is the strategy, the second half's the execution. This looks like it could be basing out here, honestly. This might end up curling. The fact volume's drying up is probably favorable for a bullish position. Time frame wise, I gotta hold at least 2 more minutes before I can cut the trade, as per my rule. Taking my win on NVVR, getting out for the day. Oh, I looked away and you closed the trade. I'm still in it. I'm still in the trade. Flip-flop. Why did you think I closed it? I'm not out? Yeah, I'm still in it. But yeah, this is holding more than I would have liked it to here. Level 2 is so thick on this stock. I'm seeing like over 100,000 at some points on the bid and the ask. Just how many shares of this are there? You thought you closed it because your P&L didn't update for a minute. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why it would freeze. I see what you mean, actually. Yeah, it's not like updating with each penny increment. Right? It should be like fluctuating up and down very consistently, and it's not. Yeah. Yeah, it could be starting to curl. The volume has been lighter on this move up, but could be holding. Need to get better at technicals in real time. I can analyze companies pretty well for buy and hold, but day trading is like trying to catch a bullet out of the air. Yeah, certainly. Am I short or long? I am short, sir. It's curling nice. It's holding up decent. I still think I have edge just in general terms, so I'm okay with holding a little longer. If I go red, so be it. If you didn't have to worry about day trades, you'd be able to cover half at some points and hold the rest. I guess that's something to look forward to in the future. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of downsides to having limited day trades, certainly. I was kind of close to getting filled. So my cover order was actually at about 117. This went to a low of 25. So I was 8 cents off of a cover here before the curl started. But I did pattern match with this one. Ooh, 200,000 share buy order here in 34. How's that order hold up? Slowly narrowed down. Level 2 is so weird on this stock. Doesn't really make much sense. I'm gonna have to cut this trade soon, though. Time frame's running out, and also market open is coming, so there's 2 reasons I need to cut it soon. Move the order up, see if we get a cover on it. The low of this wasn't 20. No, the low was 20. Okay, 25. All right. I went ahead and just covered there. So this was honestly a pretty bad trade by me. I'm not super happy with how I did with it. $4.18, 16-cent winner, but if I would have just kept the order at 177, that would have been 8 extra shares. And I covered at 124. So that's about 50 cents a share, 8 shares. So I really should have made an extra $4 on this. So this should have been an $8.16 winner, nearly full-size winner. Instead, because I screwed it up, I made only $4. Pretty embarrassing if I'm being honest. But It is what it is. You'll have to let me know how you do flip-flop. Honestly, like, just statistically, this probably keeps going down, but, like, I can't hold much longer because, like I said, we're getting near market open. And my time frame for how long I should be holding is coming to a close, so... It is what it is. We live, we laugh, we learn. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here, though. Market's gonna be opening soon, and I need to switch accounts so I can trade in my main account. But yeah. Probably gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will get better at it. I have confidence. This is a learning, growing phase. But hey, at least it's a little more... $4 is a little bit more appealing to see as a result than in the past. You now me. If I'm in the green, I will hold for hours. Oh, yeah, I know you. Yeah. What's your thoughts on oil stocks? I feel like they aren't performing that well. Yeah, they're surprisingly underperforming. It's very strange. I thought they would do better, but they're not. It might be just a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of situation there. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Small winner for me relative to the size that I'm trading. Hopefully I can do it.